One speaker who was not known to be brief was asked to introduce another speaker. The person introducing was a senior lawyer. And the person who was going to deliver the lecture was one Lord Gough from the United Kingdom. So the introduction began at 6:30. The function was supposed to go over at 8. Lord Gough was still being introduced at 7:30. So when Lord Gough got up, he said, "I'm so overwhelmed by this introduction, and I see that you have a printed text of my speech in all your hands. I will take it as read." Unfortunately, I don't have that privilege here. So this speaker who introduced Lord Gough was then asked in another function to come and deliver an address. Another senior advocate who introduced the speaker said the speaker needs no introduction, he only needs a conclusion. And when the speaker was asked for the third time to come and deliver a lecture, like what had been invited here to do, he was a bit chastened. So this time he asked the organizers, "How long can I speak?" So the organizers with a smile said, "Sir, for you there is no time limit, but we will listen to you only for 20 minutes. So that is the mandate that I give myself, that after this wonderful speech by Krishna, most of which I tend to agree with, and the really hard-hitting speech of Manu, who reminds us why it is necessary for humor to be there. I was reminded of the Great Dictator. What is remarkable about the Great Dictator? எவ்வளவு பேர் ஆடியன்ஸ்ல பார்த்திருக்கீங்க? சார்லி சாப்ளினோட Great Dictator பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? What was remarkable about that was it was made in 1942. World did not have the faintest expectation that Hitler will one day, in 3 years' time, be no more. Fascism was at its peak. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு காலகட்டத்துல to make a film which actually parodied Hitler was a very courageous thing. And if you combine what Krishna said with what Manu did, art is the big vehicle for us to express ourselves in a democracy, which is always under threat. So I must compliment the organizers for interspersing Manu between Krishna's speech and my speech. I hope this pattern follows in other meetings as well, because humor is something that we so lack in today's India. Lack not because there are no performers, but because they are all under threat all the time. Much has been said about federalism, much has been written about federalism, and since I want to shorten this speech, I want to begin only by saying that the original expectation when they drew up the constitution, when they said India is a union of states, and how it has worked out in the last 75 years has been very different. Ambedkar was an optimist. When he was asked in the Constituent Assembly, "Are you sure this kind of federalism actually works when you're giving so much power to the center?" He was very confident that no, it will work well. There are so many provisions that we've divided up the legislative powers between the center and the states. We've divided up the executive powers between the center and the state. People will know how to work it. People are expected to respect the spirit of the Constitution. So he essentially sounds as an optimist in the Constituent Assembly. But it appears that both Nehru and Ambedkar wanted a center which was strong. And this is what commentators tell us, because of the prevailing political circumstances. We must understand that the Constitution was born in a time of strife, great strife and great tragedy. The tragedy being the partition of India. So right there in Delhi, the streets of Delhi, every day there was violence, killing, gang rapes, murders. So the after effects of the partition were being felt in the Constituent Assembly. So although the debate started by saying